I am Lady Charmaine, and my guest today is a person which every actor wants to hear on the other end of their phone, saying these 4 words: you got the part. She's a top Hollywood casting agent who has an eye for talent. She has casted for television commercials, music videos, and major motion pictures, such as Jumping the Broom, Stump the Yard, Notorious, and the most anticipated movie of the summer, Sparkle, starring the late Whitney Houston and Jordin Sparks. I want you to help me welcome casting agent extraordinaire, Tracy Twinkie Byrd, to the show. How you doing, Twinkie?
I am excellent. I'm excellent. I can't complain. And yourself?
I'm good, and I want to thank you so much for joining me on the show today, because I've been trying to get you for an entire year, and I finally got you, so I'm really excited.
You're welcome. I'm excited, too. I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to this.
Tracy, one thing about you are what we call a life changer, because one telephone call from you can change a person's life. Did you know that you would ever be in that position?
I did not know that I would be in that position, but I'm thankful that I am thankful.
I mean, people wait, and I mean, they wait for that telephone call from Twinkie just to hear if they got a role. And so many aspiring actors and actresses would just love to just spend at least 5 minutes of your time and just pick your brain for your expertise. Did you even realize that your opinion would be in such high demand?
I didn't know, as I grew in this industry and, learning and gleaning from others, I started to get it through my head that I was gathering information that other people need to have, and I would just, or I would read a lot of information that sometimes just would come in so handy in conversation, either with actors and actresses or with directors and producers. So reading is fundamental. It's a beautiful thing.
Let's go back to the basics. It's fundamental.
Yes, it is. It is.
Now, did you ever think you would ever get into become a casting director? So what made you even want to go into that field?
Let me tell you the story, and I will try to make it quick, because I sometimes have a tendency to be long-winded in these instances. But what happened is my mother always told me, late 80s, early 90s, you can basically have any job that you wanted at that time. And I used to do a lot of transcription for lawyers and doctors because of my typing skills. So I ended up working for a number of different companies in New York. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. And while I was doing that, I kept getting the job. I had no problem getting a job. I had great interview skills, gregarious personalities, the whole 9. But I had problems keeping the job because I talk a lot on the phone and attract people. I'm talking on the phone and attracting people. So what my parents were praying that I would find my blessing, because every time I would get fired, it was because I talked on the phone too much and I attracted too many people to my office or to my desk. So I was working in advertising for a lawyer in business affairs, and what happened was at my desk I had a lot of toys in the advertising agency. We did a lot of commercials, and I had toys and all kinds of things at my desk. And this little baby walked up and was doing a Pamper commercial. And Pampers, I have all these babies in these little Pampers, and they had to audition. And this one baby just walked out to my desk. My little desk office cubicle area was right in the hallway. Walked out to my desk and came up to me and wanted to play and sat on my lap and played with all my toys at my desk and looked at all the pictures, and I let him play on my computer, the keyboard. And so the mother came to get the baby for the audition, and the baby wouldn't get down. He started crying, and she said, well, can you bring him in the room? Can you come into the room and bring him in to the casting room? And I said, sure. And when I got inside the room, they asked me, was I the baby wrangler? And I said, how much do they make? And they told me, I'm like, sure, I'm the baby wrangler. So I got to see from the inside of the room what casting does. And I said, oh, my goodness, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be. And it was the answer to my parents' prayers, because casting, in this career of casting, you can talk a lot on the phone and attract people. Their prayers were answered. My prayers were answered. That was the beginning of the opening up my mind to the casting possibility.
How long have you been a casting director?
Oh, boy, I've been casting since 1990.
Wow.
So it's 22 years. I started casting a music video in 1990. Huh. Wow, I think about it now.
Now, I know casting directors look for the it factor, and you're known as the diamond finder. What do you consider?
I am.
like you said, Reuben Cannon.
Reuben Cannon gave me that name.
And you do have that it factor. In your eyes, what is the it factor from a casting director's point of view?
It's really hard to describe it because there are so many variations of it. Some people are born with it and some people acquire it. So, but part of it is definitely being prepared, studying, and working on your craft. That's important. There are some people who fall into it and have a natural gift and ability to act, but they don't have a natural gift or ability to network or to handle the business of show business. Mm. And there's some people that have the natural ability to network and the business of show business, but they don't have the natural ability to act. So it is really the two, mixing the two together. And part of that is being prepared, being on time, being cordial, and everything else. It's a feeling. Like there are times when I'm looking through the lens of the camera, when I'm running my camera, that we start to then be transported into the actual scene or to be transported into the actual film. It feels like you're there, and that's when you know that person has it. Mm. It's like you're no longer in that office setting. It's like you're on set. You're in the scene. And that happens a lot, and it's so good.
See, that's a gift that talent and casting agents have. Because like you said, you're in this scene because you know what you're casting for. Because my next question was going to be, what do you look for in an actor, and how do you go about finding your talent?
Well, there are a number of different ways. My agent relationships are hugely important to me. So there are a lot of agents who have a lot of artists, actors, and they'll make sure I have general meetings with them, or they'll make sure they invite me to a screening or to a play so that I can see their new and up-and-coming actors, or to showcases. So it happens so many different ways. Sometimes I'm watching a television show or a soap or something. Like, that's how I found Tika Sumpter. Mm. She was on a soap. Tika was in Stomp the Yard Homecoming, and I cast her in Sparkle. She was on a soap opera, and I woke up one afternoon and on my day off and looked up and fell asleep with the TV on, looked up, and I saw her face. I saw her acting. And I said, who is this young lady? Who's this girl? Wow. I did my research, set up a meeting with her, and my best friend took the meeting. My best friend, and she was my casting associate in New York, took the meeting with Tika because I was leaving town. And next thing I know, I put her on tape for Stomp the Yard Homecoming, and she booked the role without me even meeting. I never met her, and she was booked.
See, you remind me of Quincy Jones, because he said he did the same thing with Oprah when he said he was in Chicago, saw her doing that morning show she did, and knew that was Sophia for The Color Purple. And I guess that's just an eye that you just have to say, you know what, that girl, she got it. That is fantastic.
It is a true, serious gift. Like, I'm walking in my gift, honestly.
That's a blessing.
It's honestly my purpose. It is. It's a huge blessing.
Now, what roles do you cast for? Do you only cast for lead roles and supporting roles, or do you cast for extras as well?
Nope, just the lead roles and supporting roles, no extras. So all those who speak, I cast.
So everybody want to know you. So you the woman everybody want to know.
Yes.
But
it comes in a timely fashion, in decency and in order. So we want it to be in the time when it's supposed to be, and there's nothing wrong with being an extra. Don't get me wrong. Being an extra and being on set with a lot of these artists is an education in and of itself. Watching, gleaning, paying attention to, writing notes, not bugging them in any way or, getting in the way. But a lot of times when you can watch them and see, and if they give you a moment of their time, if you feel that moment and they give you a moment of their time, you get that eye contact and it seems like it's okay to ask a question, then, of course, make it a really good question, but do so. But I think that extra work is valuable for actors.
And I just want to just say, on piggybacking what you just said, it's true. Because my very first movie I ever worked on, I was an extra and was just happy just to be there. Just friends told me about it. So, and then I went with them, not knowing a whole lot about being extra, was just on the set. And this was years ago, like 25, but years ago. But I was on the set and just having myself a good old time. I just make friends because that's just the kind of personality that I have. And I became friends with one of the stars on the movie. And like you said, if they give you time, just, ask questions. And I did. One day they came upstairs, the production team, and said, "Here, we want you to say these lines," and gave me a role in the movie. I wasn't looking for the role, so then I ran and told the star of the movie that I got this part, and he said, "Oh, I already know." I'm like, "Oh, you do?" Oh.
Fabulous.
And so
fabulous.
And that's how I got it. Like you said, I was always the first extra on the set every single day. They ended up having me there for 3 months.
Right.
As an extra for 3 months. Right. And everything you said was
wonderful.
Perfect. Mm-hmm.
And know a bit about the people that you're working with and for. Like I said, I tell people now with all of these smartphones are for smart people. Do your research. You're sitting there with a phone that can search the web while you're online, Google somebody, look up their whole bio, all of those different things. So you should know who you're speaking with, who you're working for, whose shoulders you stand on. All of those things come into play when when you're trying to reach for your goals. I was sitting in a workshop class, getting to know a bunch of different actors, and they were there to be workshopped, and I give them sides, what we call sides in this industry, which are the pages from the actual script with the lines on them from one or more characters. So I choose a character, or I'll give them monologues, and they are to go out, memorize it, cold read, bring it back, and perform it, and present it in front of me. And this one young man, I learned about him, his background, his history, and he said, I played football when I was in high school and in college, da-da-da-da. I said, okay, I'm going to speak to your strengths then. And I gave him a monologue from Brian's song. Mm. He had no idea what it was, who they were, what film it was, any of those things. I guess he was about 25, 26 years old, young man. And I told him afterwards who Gail Sayers was, Brian Piccolo, the importance of the film, and how important it is to know whose shoulders you stand on. And this was, at the time, this film had starred Judy Pace, Billy D. Williams, James Caan. And these young people need to be aware, because you could be on set right now with James Caan. He was on a television show, Las Vegas. You could be on set right now with Billy D. Williams in film or something and not know who you're sitting next to. A legend. You're sitting next to someone who kicked open a door for your opportunities.
Right.
So it's important. It's really important to do your research, and you may learn something while you're at it.
No, that's good. That's a very good point. So for all those that are listening, and if you're just tuning in, we're talking to Twinkie Byrd. She's one of the hottest Hollywood casting directors. She casted the movie Stomp the Yard, also Jumping the Broom, and this summer's most anticipated movie, Sparkle. You casted for the movie Sparkle with the late Whitney Houston and Jordin Sparks, Mike Epps, CeeLo Green. I mean, like you said, Tinka Sumter. I mean...
Yeah.
When you cast...
Derek Luke, Omari Hardwick.
There you go. Break it on down.
Everybody's in there.
I mean, everybody's waiting. And as I tell everybody, Sparkle was my favorite movie. I knew all the lines and still know all the songs and the dance moves to Sparkle.
And the choreography, honey,
yes. So I was a Sparkle fan. So that's why when I watched this movie, I'm like, I know it's a little different because Brayley Evans told me, of course, it's in a different setting and a different time.
You know Brayley.
So, yeah, she was on the show. She's one of my homegirls from the Bay Area. Praise God. And so, yeah, great interview. Love her. I mean, that girl is just the bomb. I can't wait to just see her just blow up. So I'm really excited.
I love Brayley.
Yeah, she's just one of those people with a beautiful spirit. But I wanted to ask you, all of these actors you had in the movie, did you kind of have them in mind, or did they have to come and audition like everyone else?
Both.
Oh.
I have them in mind, and they have to come audition.
Oh, okay.
Both. especially when you haven't seen them in that light before, or sometimes just to make sure that who you've already cast, that they blend, that their chemistry matches and mixes with the others who have been cast, or those that you're thinking truly about casting. Like when you're getting really, really close, you start putting some chemistry reads together, and that kind of thing. So almost everyone, yeah, they auditioned. Jordin definitely auditioned many, many times. Carmen Ejogo, who's playing Sister, who I can't wait until everybody sees that performance. Carmen Ejogo, who is the wife of Jeffrey Wright, by the way.
Didn't know
amazing
that.
Actress. Yes, amazing actress. She was in Lackawanna Blues. Wow. Amazing actress. She does such a wonderful job of Sister. And she auditioned on tape. She was on holiday at the time and auditioned on tape, and her tape was sent to us.
Wow.
And we were blown away. Yes. So there are a number of different ways to audition. I have actors that audition for me, and they're across the pond or on the East Coast or wherever they are, and they put themselves on tape, and I get the tape, and I look at it, and some people have just a way of capturing you even on tape, and they change your whole mindset. So there was a lot of auditions. There was a lot of auditioning. There were hundreds of girls that wanted to be Sparkle. Hundreds of audition tapes came in, as well as actresses coming in to audition for Sparkle.
Did you consider?
So it was a lot.
Did you consider Paula Patton for one of those roles as well?
Did I consider who?
Paula Patton.
Did we consider Paula Patton for one of the roles?
Yes, because I thought someone said that Paula Patton was being considered for one of the roles. I wasn't sure if it was Sister or Sparkle. I wasn't sure. I just read it, so I didn't know. I was like, what's she?
Oh, well, we love Paula Patton because, I cast her in Jumping the Broom. But unfortunately, she wasn't available.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see Carmen play Sister, because I know Carmen, she has like an accent, but Sister knows she played that role. So I can't wait to see the movie and see how Carmen interprets the Sister role as well. For you, did you
Carmen does, but she does an American accent as well, so you'd never know that she had an accent at all.
Now, for you, what was it like working with Whitney Houston? Did you get a chance to work with her at all?
I did not. I did not get a chance to work with her. I just received all the phone calls of everyone that was working with her, and they were just in awe of her. I know that when we all discussed Whitney playing the role and offering her the role, we were all for it. Everyone was in agreement in regards to that, because playing the mom, we were very excited about it, actually, and she was really surprised but gracious, from what I'm to understand, and accepted the offer and the role, and did a beautiful job in it, by the way.
I bet she did, and I can't wait to see that.
It's amazing. Have you seen the trailer?
I did. I just said they just released the trailer.
Oh, my movie is fabulous.
I love to hear a casting director so excited about a movie that they cast. And I wanted to ask you, what was that thing that you saw in Jordin Sparks to cast her as Sparkle?
That baby. I love that baby. She is a good girl. You know what? Jordin is a listener, and I guess maybe because, maybe because her father is a football player and has that kind of intensity and passion, and from what I'm to understand, she's a daddy's girl. So, she has this way of like listening and going into it, almost like how people on teams are listening to the coach and implementing. She listens and implements, and that's how her mind worked in this particular instance. So every little note that I would give her, every subtle tweak, or when the director was in the room, we had director sessions with her. Every note that he gave, she would take note, write things down, figure out how to implement that into her next read, and then go for it. And it was absolutely amazing. She is no stranger to hard work.
You can tell that. That's why she won American Idol For those who may not know who Jordin
stranger.
Sparks is, she won season 6 of American Idol. And earlier you were talking about chemistry and having chemistry on screen. And one area that we could see chemistry was in Jumping the Broom between Paula Patton and Laz Alonso. How did you bring
great chemistry?
Yes, how did you bring those two together? What was it that you saw with those two to cast them in Jumping the Broom?
Well, with Paula, she has a body of work, which of course we love. And I know that she can, in Deja Vu, she had chemistry with the camera, and through the camera gave her chemistry permeated. It went through the camera into Denzel's character, and you could feel it, like it was palpable, the chemistry that she had and how magnetic she is. And then, of course, with Laz Alonso, I worked with him on Stomp the Yard, and I knew what he could bring to the table in terms of chemistry. And putting the two together, it was like magic.
Mm-hmm.
It was so yummy to watch because it was yummy because of her strengths, but also because of him being transparent and open with his love and adoration of her, but also too being strong and not being a punk, but and the back and forthness. It was like a volley between the two of them, where she would give in, and then he would come to her, and then she would hold back, and then he would come. It's just that back and forthness reached a real relationship, and of course the real relationship that I grew up with. My parents have been married 51 years. This May 20th coming. Wow. So I just, and my grandparents over 50 years. So it really paralleled the relationships that I saw growing up, that I witnessed.
For you as a casting director, what makes good chemistry?
What makes good chemistry?
On screen.
Well, there is the professionalism and the conversation, of course, about the different characters. There's this thing that Tasha Smith taught me. I went to her class one night and watched her teach two actors touch exercise and intimacy. There is an intimacy in the eyes and in the expression, and how there's nonverbal conversation that happens with body language and with our eyes and the inner work in your eyes, what you're thinking and how you're feeling. So even if there's a substitution, if you use like your husband or someone that you love or care for, whatever actors use, sometimes they use a puppy or a dog, that they loved, or and they use that as the substitution in their work, then what comes out of their eyes is love and adoration and care and nurturing and respect. Those are the things that when two actors meet on that level, and then when they have the characters in mind and how these characters feel, what their backstory is, that creates a connection that then is called chemistry.
Wow. You just gave a whole class on casting. That was fantastic.
I hope so. I hope none of my directors feel like, you don't know what you're talking about.
With these movies you cast, you know what you're talking about.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
And you just casted a new movie with a Latino ensemble, Philly Brown. Can you tell us about this movie, and also what were you looking for in this movie?
Well, Philly Brown is about a young lady who, and they call her Philly Brown. She is a poet and a spoken word artist that turned rapper. And it's starring Lou Diamond Phillips, Edward James Olmos, and introducing Gina Rodriguez. And it was an amazing project cast because it's outside of what people may expect from an African-American female casting director, which is what I love to do, is to cast outside of the box that they try to put people in. I don't subscribe to that. So I looked for, searched for, and prayed for, most importantly, an independent that was going to take me outside of the box and showcase me, because I'm one of those people I'd rather show you than tell you. So I want to show you. I don't want to keep telling you I'm going to be the best casting director. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. When you do all of that, you know, it's just a bunch of statements that fall. They mean nothing. But it's better to show than to tell. So I want to show. So I will go out and find a short film or an independent film and then use that as my calling card. Now you see my work. I show you I can do all ethnicities. I'm going to show you that I can do a 3-language film. I have a 3-language short film that is amazing. So the prayer was answered, and I went and took a meeting with the director, Yusef Delara, and then I was in a Skype meeting with Michael Olmos, Edward James Olmos' son, because it was directed by the two of them, and read the script. I was so excited, and they had no money, like so little money, but it was about my passion. It was about my passion, and Gina Rodriguez is the one that brought me to the table because I was auditioning her for something else, and she says, I love you. I love your passion. I love your energy. I'm going to refer you to these guys because they need somebody like you to cast their project. And sure enough, I got in there. I casted it in a couple weeks, and it went to Sundance. Gina did an amazing job in it. She raps in it, and that is her rapping. She studied. She had to study really hard to get the cadence down and everything, but there are certain things that came naturally to her. And it's so important for people to know that your life informs your art. My life informs my art, and then my art touches lives. And she has had that. That has been going on within her, the spoken word, for years. Then she got a chance to showcase her spoken word, and then they turned it into rap. All of that came from her real life, and it informed her art. Lou Diamond Phillips plays her father. There's another young lady in the film named Chrissy Fitz, who now has a 3-picture deal, I believe, with Disney.
Wow. And
the movie is a really, really good film about family, about overcoming obstacles. And I absolutely love it. I love it. It's inspirational.
I can hear the passion when you speak. It's amazing. You know, when you hear somebody who found their passion, you hear it. It just, yes. I mean, it just emanates through them. And who would have ever thought that when you're casting, you know, somebody would be so enthusiastic about that? And I see why she chose you, because I would. If I was casting a major motion picture after this interview, Twinkie Byrd would be my casting director. There would be no doubt. I mean, there would be no doubt, because I know that you love what you do. You're passionate about it. You're serious about it. That's why people love you, and you have a great recipe for success. I mean, look, just look at the track record. It speaks for itself.
Yes, it does, and I'm thankful for my resume. I'm telling you, I tell people all the time, I do not have to lie about my resume. I don't have to put one falsehood or anything. I don't have to put anything on my resume to beef it up, to make it look better. It is exactly what I have done, every single thing.
Amen.
And I'm thankful.
And I'm
really thankful.
Yeah, and you just casted for a new BET television original drama starring Gabrielle Union called Being Mary Jane. So what was it about that one and Gabrielle? Well, she's a great actress anyway.
Yay. Yay. Well, I have to say, it's my relationship with the Akil. Salim Akil was the director on Jumping the Broom, and of course this show. And then I worked with the two of them, Mara and Salim, on Sparkle. So at this point now, they're my clients. They are my repeat business. I'm so thankful to be in the Akil's camp, and I really am. Because, you know, sometimes you'll see a casting director. I have always wanted that, like some kind of staying power. I remember when I was in music video and I was constantly working for certain directors. I knew I had certain clients. Brett Ratner was a client. Tim Story was a client. George Tillman. I had certain clients that kept coming back, you know, to me to cast their music videos, and I wanted that same or similar relationship in film, and I have that now with the Akils. I mean, this is the third time I'm working with them, so I am really, really excited, and I'm excited about this project, and I'm excited for the world to see it. It's really brilliant. It's a 1-hour drama, and it's brilliant, brilliantly written, and it's going to be brilliantly acted because I'm casting it.
So how did you find Gabrielle? Now, what was it about her that made you want to put her in the leading role?
Oh, Gabrielle is just amazing. She's amazing, and she just she fits perfectly. She's one of those people when we were looking for when you break down the character, like in any project, you break down the character and you're looking for certain characteristics of the character, and especially when I'm working closely with Mara Bracakeel, and as a writer and a creator of a show, when you work closely with them, you have people in mind. You just start to think about the actresses that are available and in mind, and you try to make sure that you find a person who embodies all of those different traits, and then too want to bring out something that you may not have seen before in that person or in that actress or in that character. So Gabrielle just, of course, stood out, and she's one of those actresses who you really want to see her. You want to see her, and you want to see her in this role in particularly because of what she brings.
Now, we know that she's a very strong actress, and there are so many strong African-American actresses that are out there, but we don't have a lot of roles. Do you ever find it difficult when you're casting African-American roles, especially females, because we don't have a lot of leading opportunities, and I know you're friends with a lot of them in the industry. How difficult is it for you when you go to cast leading roles for African-American women?
Well, contrary to popular belief, we're working. We are working. I mean, we're working. So African-American actors and actresses are working all over television. Michael Ealy has a new pilot, a new show coming out. Let's see. Scandal with Kerry Washington. Mm-hmm. She has a show. Laz Alonso has a show, mm-hmm. Notorious with Megan Good. Everybody's working.
That's great, because I know I don't see Vivica Fox in things is in as many things unless she's producing it or something like that. But I know there's so many more that are out there. And with Megan Good, I just didn't realize that she was one of the stars of that one as well. No, that is fantastic.
Yeah, she's on Notorious, and she's doing a 6-episode arc, I think, or a number of episodes on Californication. There is work going on for us like none other, and I think it's because I feel that it's because we're thinking outside of the box, and the networks are thinking outside of the box, and they're casting a lot of these roles in different ethnicities, and they're putting in all of our beautiful people of color from African Americans to Asian Americans. So we are actually working on television quite a bit, and in film. Think Like a Man is coming out, and I believe they're about to do what is that new show, that new film with Taraji and Idris. So it's not Good Deeds, the Tyler Perry film, which was, of course, that was African American as well. A lot of women in that. Gabrielle is in that, as well as Tandy Newton.
Right.
But this one is starring Taraji. So it is a number of them are I know very well, and there's work happening, and B, we're always looking for the person that's right and perfect for the job, and sometimes it's the person that you think of, and sometimes it's the person that you didn't think of initially, and they come in front of you, and you're like, oh my goodness, this is fabulous. Why didn't I think of this? It's someone a little left or a little right of what you were looking at, what you were focusing on. So I try to keep a very open mind, try to read everyone that I can for each additional role, knowing and understanding that every leading role is not the only role. There are supporting roles that can change your life. Supporting roles can change your life. They change how you're perceived. They change your perception. You'd be surprised how you can take a supporting role. I mean, look at Octavia. Mm-hmm. That's a supporting role, that she got an Oscar for. So the supporting roles can really change your life. So it's not We don't want to just focus on the leading role, but we want to focus on work and the roles, period. Because there are times when the supporting role changes your life.
And just as Jennifer Hudson, supporting role.
Yes, Jennifer Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, changed her life. Anika Noni Rose changed her life.
Yes.
It changed her life. She is a wanted actress, all up and down. So, and she's a triple threat because she's a singer-dancer actress and Broadway background, the whole thing. So it can really change your life. So I don't want any of your listeners to have that tunnel vision of the lead role and I'm going to be a star, because let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the work, the supporting roles, and the work.
That's good. And what advice would you give to up-and-coming actors and actresses who are trying to make it in the industry? How can they make themselves stand out and not blend in the crowd?
That's a very good question. Making yourself stand out, being patient. You'd be surprised sometimes, just like you said earlier, being the first one on set and the last one to leave in terms of work can make you stand out. Being the person who's there to help or that's open for criticism and that takes constructive criticism well, that can make you stand out. Being the person who's always studying his or her lines, and always prepared. If the other actor goes off the lines, always prepared to pick that up and keep it going and get them right back on track, that can make you stand out. Mm-hmm. There are so many different ways and things that can make you stand out, that preparation is important. Like I said, being on time is important. So being punctual, like those are the things that can, and then your education is important. Live your life so that it can inform your art. You never know what kind of character will be coming at you, where maybe you love to play drums all your life, or the flute, or the clarinet, or something, or skateboard, or rollerblade, and next thing you know, or jump out of planes, whatever your thing is, and how that informs the character that you are then, you go in for, and you have some personal experience, and you're able to bring that to the table, to the forefront. You could be a mechanic in your time off, or you could be, there are so many different things. I mean, look at Zoe Saldana. She was a ballerina, and in her first film, in Center Stage, she played a ballerina. She was a dancer.
Everything you just said is true, because Jamie Foxx played his grandmother taught him how to play the piano, got the Roland Ray, and the rest is history.
It informs his art. Yes, it does. It informs your art. If you sing beautifully and you're in a musical, it informs your art. There are so many different special skills that we have that we may or may not nurture, and that we should nurture just because it can come into play and inform our art.
That's good. And before you go, I want to know, what are some don'ts? I know people hear a lot of the do's when they go to a casting audition, but what are some of the don'ts that people should not do that you've seen to help people?
Don't be late. Don't wear too much cologne to an audition or perfume. The rooms are usually very small, and it can be overwhelming. Don't try to shake everybody's hand and get too personable. Don't get too personal in there. It's nice to have a break the ice kind of moment or something to that effect, but come in and know to get into character, look around the room, figure out how you're going to be framed and in the camera and everything, and then go for it. Go for the work, and then be prepared for an adjustment. And don't take the adjustment as an insult. Mm-hmm. If you are adjusted by a casting director or a director, that means obviously they see something in you, so they want to see it a different way, they want to tweak something. That means you've got more time in the room. Mm. So see that as a very positive thing, not a negative thing. No one's supposed to get it perfect and get it right the first time. And even if it was perfect or right the first time, they may just want to see it a different way to see what kind of to see what kind of personality you have and how you take adjustments, how you take constructive criticism. To just check this, it may just be a personality check to see, do I want to be on set with this person for 3 months? If I say one little thing to them, they just going to pout the rest of the day, or, that kind of thing. Sometimes it's just that. It's not always that you did something wrong. And know that to be true. Always bring your headshot and your resume, and don't rely on other people to do all the work for you. I've seen people get lazy and stop bringing a headshot and resume. So, and don't get out of touch with the people that you work with or for. Don't allow yourself to be out of touch with them. Stay in touch, either by email or, sending a postcard or something from time to time. Keep them abreast of what you're up to, but build your network. Don't be a bugaboo, but build your network. When you have something going on, or if you just booked another project, or if you book a commercial, or if you're in a play, keep them abreast. You never know. That director or producer might want to come and see you perform in your project. So do keep in touch, and don't be a bugaboo.
That was good. Those were some great tips. So for all of you out there who are aspiring to be actors or actresses, she just gave you some great don'ts. But do keep in touch. Just don't be a bugaboo. It was just that simple. Yeah. Now, did you work with Bishop Jakes in his new movie, Woman Thou Art Loose, on the Seventh Day?
Yes.
Did you
yes,
catch
I did.
that?
I cast that as well.
Can't wait to see that, because that looks like that's going to be good.
Yes, Nima Barnett directed that. I was very excited. She was one of the directors on my list to work with. I cast Sharon Leal in the lead role, and a young lady by the name of Nicole Bahari from American Violet. Some of you may remember her from American Violet with Alfre Woodard. She is in a supporting role, and I'm very excited about that. I love the story. Pam Grier is also in the film, Nicoy Banks. I love the story. I love the script. I love the twists and turns. So it is let's see, what do you call it? It is a inspirational thriller, I would say. Yes. So it's not your ordinary inspirational film, I guess, or faith-based film. It's not your ordinary faith-based film. It's like a faith-based inspirational thriller.
Because you could see that in the trailer when I saw that. And, just with Blair Underwood, and I'm trying to figure out, just watching the trailer, what's going on there? Something happened. And it's like a cliffhanger where it makes you want to go see the movie to find out what's going on in this movie. Something happened.
Exactly. Yes, something does happen, and it causes their world to shake and rock, and some things were upturned, and some things were revealed, and you find out how and if a marriage can survive those types of things, and how it's done, how marriages can survive that type of thing if it does, and it's a beautiful, revealing, but still very thrilling, keep you on the edge of your seat, kind of faith-based. It's taking faith-based movies in a whole nother direction. And I also did A Beautiful Soul, actually, with Dietrich Haddon. I just did a project with my brother, who's a director, Jeff Byrd. We did a film called A Beautiful Soul with Dietrich Haddon, Robert Richard, Harry J. Lennox. Pretty amazing. That's another faith-based film.
When can we be expecting that one? Because I heard about that one. When is that one going to hit theaters?
It's in May. So I have a film coming out in April, a film coming out in May, a film coming out in June, and another one in August.
Oh, so that's good. You're a busy girl. See, God is blessing you tremendously.
I am. I'm so thankful.
So, Twinkie, I want to know if there is a website that you have information on that people can get thoughts from a casting director, do's or don'ts, or do you have anything like that people can go to?
I have a blog called TwinkieIsCasting.blogspot.com. I have a website called TwinkieByrd.com, and I'm writing a book right now.
Ooh.
So I'm very excited about that. That's going to be next for me.
So when is that coming out? September?
September is my birthday month, so I will see. I'm looking forward to finding a publisher, and I may self-publish, but right about now I'm getting so much information from all of my projects, and just like this interview, so much comes out when you start thinking about it that I just want to put it all down on paper and get it out there so that, like, your listeners can go to a book and just go to the chapter they need to go to on networking or, on first auditions and on, I just want them to be able to use it as a workbook and a valuable resource. So, and an excerpts of it will be on my website as well.
That's great. I think that is going to be good because people need to hear that, and especially from a casting director's point of view, and plus a successful casting director, where she knows what she's talking about. Yes, and I let me tell you, I have been tweaked and pruned and continue to be tweaked and pruned, so I am not perfect, but I try to give the information that I receive, because if I hold on to it, there's no purpose to it. I'm blessed to be a blessing. So the information that I receive is meant to be given. Are you on Facebook or Twitter where people can follow you?
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, Twinkie_Byrd, BYRD, on Twitter. And on Facebook, fans of Twinkie Byrd on Facebook. Fans of Twinkie Byrd Casting, yes.
Twinkie Byrd Casting. That is fantastic. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show and just truly sharing yourself and just letting people know just about the world and just being so down to earth where people can receive what you had to say in just a nice, fun, loving way. I really appreciate you for that.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being on the show, and hopefully I'm helping someone. That's my father's favorite song. If I can help somebody as I travel on my way, then my living shall not be in vain.
Amen to that. And we definitely got to have you back on the show because I know you have more great things on the way. Plus, I want you to come back and talk about your book because I know that's going to be a wealth of information.
Yes. I would love to.
Thank you.
I would love to.